Pillars for an excellent marriage. Marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure, for God will judge the adulterer and all the sexually immoral. Hebrews 13 and verse 4. So, let us continue with our series. We are looking at why are marriages failing and why are marriages excelling. There are those whose marriages, no matter what you do, it will eventually collapse. And there are those, no matter how careless they are, marriages continue to blossom. Because there are principles that govern marriage. And today the principle of the pillar of the marriage we are looking at is marriage bed. He have said marriage should be honored by all. But he is saying, and the marriage bed kept pure. So marriage should be honored by all if the marriage bed is pure. So honoring the marriage, that is what we call excellence of that marriage, is dependent on the purity of the marriage bed. Remember, marriage bed symbolizes what? Sacred union, or symbolizes marriage covenant, or symbolizes that. That is why you notice the marriages that host spiritual husband and spiritual wife, you would have noted those marriages struggle a lot because the marriage bed has already been interfered with. It is no longer pure. You notice the marriages where there is the issue of polygamy that brings adultery and other sexual immoralities. So you've like masturbation, pornography, and bestialities and those kind of things. You notice those marriages, they go through a lot of struggles. Why? What makes a marriage to be honored, what makes a marriage to be excellent, is the purity of the marriage bed. Because marriage bed symbolizes a holy matrimonial altar. Holy matrimonial altar. Because it is at the marriage bed lives where are shared, where emotions are shared, where intimacy is shared. It is on the marriage bed that the energies are exchanged. It is on the marriage bed that vibrations connect and frequencies harmonize. So if the marriage bed is impure, what do you expect? All the other spiritual aspects of marriage are interfered with. So you are only left with a natural body, sexual experience with no spiritual impact, therefore not affecting the quality of life. Marriage bed is a symbol of intimacy and partnership. It is a safe haven and a secure base for the spouses. It is like a refuge and a security place. When you are so much tortured and crushed by the outside world, and you go to your wife and you go to your husband and you both together on your bed, you forget all your problems It seems as if that is where the solutions are. And indeed, that's where the solutions are. Because that is where now God aborts. Do you remember the technology of God where he said, if whatever two or three shall agree here on earth. And then he said, the testimony of two or three is enough. Do you remember Paul and Silas practicing the formula of the marriage bed in prison? Paul and Silas prayed and worshipped, and the divine power came down and saved them. This is the technology of God, of uniting masculinity and feminism together. You produce a power. Oh, that is what the Lord said. One of you will chase 1,000, but the two of you, husband and a wife, two of you will chase 10,000. That is why you notice your enemies, or even Satan, the greatest area they invest their arsenals is in the area of weakening you in the area of marriage. Either your marriage becomes cold or your marriage stops existing. You separate because they know what is marriage. It is as we are taking the marriage as a factory of producing children that we can post on the social media. No, marriage is a spiritual application, is a spiritual app that uses physical activities, but everything of it is spiritual. Even the fruits that are released during conjugal activity, they are all spiritual. If you shed blood and you come later, you'll find the stain of the blood there. But if it is a conjugal rite and the fruits are released, if you come later, you'll only find an area marked, but you cannot even find the color of the fruit that was shed there. It is a spiritual energy. There is an exchange of energies and vibrations, connection, and frequency harmony. That you notice, the people have understood the technology of the marriage. Oh, it is marriage bed speaks of holistic union of wives, two wives that have been united holistically, in a manner that it has been allowed by God. It is very difficult to unite the two wives unless through sorrow. Honorable and pure union. Marriage bed speaks of honorable and pure union. Is a symbol of covenant. Marriage bed is a symbol of a covenant. That is why you notice, if for instance there is a man I know, let me use this example. There is a man I know, is just a neighbor here. His father and mother died, but he had two wives and all that. And then when the inheritance was being shared, the family members met and they said, this inheritance goes to the firstborn. But he was given a condition. He was told, do not use our father's bed, the bed and the mattress. Don't destroy them, but set them aside. Don't use them. And the man, I don't know, because of whatever, he went and slept on that bed and started operating from that bed. From there, a man who was born again became alcoholic. Just recently, something happened to him. His marriage broke at old age because the inheritance was given at around 60, 70 years there. Imagine marriage breaking on your 70 years. Does that make sense? They used the marriage bed of their father, like Reuben did. So those spirits that you got, it's like now you are now doing your activities in the spirit of your parent. That is defying yourself and mocking your parent, because that is a symbol of covenant. It's a reflection of the relationship with God. It's a cohesion altar. It's an altar.